In this video, we'll talk about working with clearances in the shared mechanical and electrical model. So I say shared model because this clearance concept has been implemented across all the mechanical families as well as all the electrical families, like panels that have clearances. So there's a very specific way to turn clearances on and off in views, and that's what we're going to talk about. So for mechanical, we have clearance arms that have been used. So essentially these clearance volumes have been moved here by a clearance arm, which is a derivative of the articulated Cartesian arm. And usually it's type parameters that control it. So if we go into edit type, all the way down under other is where they're kept. So here's our clearance parameters. The back, bottom, front, left, right, top. To know that, you'd have to know how the family was created, because this front is the front in Family Editor. So one way to check is to simply just go and edit the family. So when we're editing the family, we can see that. We'll change this around. All right, so the front of the family is right here. So this hood is on the left side. Let's go to the top view, and this hood is on the back. So this is the front right here. So this is our front. So essentially, let's go back into edit type, down to other. And now we can start flexing these clearances if we need to. So in front, if this needed to be 3 feet, we could change that to 3 feet. On the right side over here, say we don't need any clearance. Let's change that to 0 on the right. And these other two we can just keep as is. So let's hit apply. So the clearance arm on a given face will turn off if the value is 0, so like on the right, and then this one updated to 3 feet. So a couple things with clearances, because we definitely don't want to see them in every view, so we need to have a way to turn them on and off. Like in our construction documents, we'd have them turned off, and then in our working views and modeling views, we'd have them turned on so we can coordinate with other disciplines. The first thing that just is an unfortunate aspect of how families are defined in the project is when you tag a family, its outer boundaries are that clearance volume. So you just have to be aware of that when you're placing tags on a family that has clearance. Now let's say that you wanted to turn clearances off in a given view. You have, well, 2 ways to do it. So in Visibility Graphics, if you scroll down to Generic Models, and so right here, clearance, this subcategory has been used for all of the mechanical and electrical families. Ideally, I guess let us know if you find some families that don't turn off when this is unchecked. So you can uncheck it and turn clearances off in a given view. Now, a couple weird things with that is if you turn off the entire category of generic models, it looks like these shared nested arms that have the clearance volumes maintain their last known position, which is kind of weird. You'd think they would turn off, but really to turn off the clearances on mechanical equipment, you have to turn off the subcategory itself. You could turn off generic models too, but generic models has our rooftop curb and things like that, so there's other reasons to leave it on. So that's one way to turn it off in a view. Now say you want to turn it off just in one family. Turn these back on. So a lot of times, just for tagging purposes, if you know you have plenty of room, like up on a rooftop, with rooftop units, we don't need those clearances there. I want to be able to tag this right up next to the unit. So selecting any family, it's a type property in visibility. So if we scroll back down, you'll see clearance visible right here. So you can uncheck this, and that will now turn the clearances off entirely in the family, which means the project doesn't even know they're there. So if you're using clearances, you need to make sure that, and we'll continue to educate architects and other disciplines, but we need to make sure that they know how to turn off our clearances. So we need to instruct them, hey, go to generic models and turn off that subcategory for clearance. Otherwise, if you've placed a family and you know that you're all set with your clearances, I would turn this off because then you don't have to worry about the architect not or another discipline not being able to isolate some of your subcategories. So that was just one family. Now I see this kind of on a bigger project-wide application where we've got all of our equipment set, we've coordinated it all, and maybe you do this right before you send it to other disciplines to link in, is you use a schedule to do that. So we have a schedule set up under M Design Equipment Clearances, and this schedule now has every family that has that clearance visible parameter, and this schedule is not sorted or itemized. So you could uncheck this, and now this will turn off clearances on every placed family out there, which then is nice because then your tags will attach right to the piece of equipment on the construction documents and you won't have to worry about that. So now with that unchecked, all of the families show the same state. And now if we go back to our plan, you'll see that every family has clearances turned off. So you guys can use that as you wish. Thanks.